A recent incident at the Shanghai Pudong International Airport has once again pushed Arunachal Pradesh in the spotlight of the long-running India-China dispute. Pema Wangjom Thongdok, an Indian citizen based in the UK, was travelling from London to Japan on 21st November when her 3-hour layover turned into a distressing episode. Thongdok says immigration officers at Shanghai Airport refused to recognize her Indian passport, calling it invalid solely because it listed Arunachal Pradesh as her birthplace.
The immigration officer came to single me out of the queue while I was queuing up for the security check-in, and basically took my passport from me, from my possession, and said, when I did continue to ask, what is the issue? I have a connecting flight. Why are you singling me out and taking me out of the queue? She went on to say Arunachal is not part of India, that it's part of China, and that my Indian passport was an invalid document for travel.
Reacting strongly to this, India hit back, reiterating our firm position, saying, and I quote, Arunachal Pradesh is an integral and inalienable part of India, and this is a self-evident fact. India has since lodged a formal diplomatic protest in both Beijing and New Delhi.
Arunachal Pradesh is an integral and inalienable part of India, and this is a fact which is self-evident. No amount of denial by the Chinese side is going to change this indisputable reality.
On the other hand, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning stated that officials at the airport had acted in accordance with Chinese laws and insisted no wrongdoing had occurred, maintaining that Arunachal Pradesh is a part of China.
首先，藏南地区是中国领土。
First of all, Zangnan is Chinese territory, and China has never recognized the so-called Arunachal Pradesh illegally established by India. As for the individual case you mentioned, according to my understanding, during the handling of the process, China's border inspection authorities have always performed inspection procedures in accordance with laws and regulations, enforced the law impartially and civilly, fully protected legitimate rights and interests of persons involved. There was no so-called detention, harassment, or other situations. The airline also provided the person with food and rest.
具体的情况，你可以向中方的主管部门进一步了解。
So what exactly is this dispute all about? Arunachal Pradesh, the largest of India's northeastern seven sisters, as they are called, has a history stretching back thousands of years with evidence of Neolithic settlements. Its location on the frontier led to periodic interactions with Tibet and Bhutan, and later the British administration. Now, during the colonial era, it was known as the Northeast Frontier Agency, a name it retained until it became a full-fledged Indian state in 1987. China disputes this evolution. China claims that large parts of the region historically fell under Tibetan influence, a territory Beijing considers its own after taking control of Tibet in the mid-20th century. This underpins China's recurring references to Arunachal Pradesh as South Tibet or Zangnan. Now, although China asserts claims over the entire state, which everyone has disputed and made clear is not the case considering it's part of India, experts note that it's particularly Tawang, which is in northwestern Arunachal Pradesh, that's central to Beijing's interest. Why? Well, Tawang hosts the second largest monastery of Tibetan Buddhism outside of Lhasa. Established in 1680 to 81 at the directive of the Fifth Dalai Lama, the monastery has deep spiritual and historical ties to Tibetan Buddhism. Ties that China cites as evidence of past Tibetan administrative influence. The sixth Dalai Lama, Sangyan Gyatso, was born near Tawang, and when the current Dalai Lama escaped Tibet in 1959 amid China's crackdown, he entered India through Tawang, staying briefly at that monastery as well. And also at the core of the conflict lies the McMahon Line, drawn in 1914 during the Shimla Convention between British India, Tibet and China. Although a Chinese representative attended, he refused to accept the boundary agreement, arguing that Tibet lacked the sovereign authority to negotiate. India, inheriting British-era administrative boundaries, recognizes the McMahon Line as a legitimate international border. China rejects the entire Shimla Convention, unsurprisingly claiming the line improperly carved away Tibetan territory. Running from eastern Bhutan to the China-Myanmar border, the McMahon Line places the territory south of it, including Arunachal Pradesh, within India. China insists this area was historically Tibetan, India has made it clear that we reject this. Now, as a part of its attempt to create this narrative, China has repeatedly released lists of renamed places in Arunachal Pradesh. In 2017, they put 6 standardized Chinese names. In 2021, 15 more names where they covered mountains, rivers, residential areas. In 2023, another list featuring 11 names. Then in 2024, there was a 4th set, this time with 30 renamed locations. All of this, India's categorically dismissed, calling them unfounded, calling these renaming exercises meaningless. Arunachal Pradesh sits on the eastern edge of the Himalayas, offering India crucial strategic vantage points along the contested frontier. This terrain enables India to position air defense systems effectively against potential threats. Its geography also allows India to deploy advanced missile systems relatively close to major Chinese military bases in Tibet. Now, beyond military considerations, there's another aspect here. Experts have highlighted how China's hardening stance on Arunachal of late may be linked to its desire to secure Aksai Chin as well, territory that China again has been fighting over. New Delhi has repeatedly refused to concede this.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.